What's going on, welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a look at MPC's 1970 Pontiac GTO Super Stocker. So let's go in the box, what's in the box, open up, see what comes inside, and take more detail later on. Alrighty, so first things first is the clear parts. So you do have your front and rear windshield in one piece. Makes it easy when keeping them back so they don't get scratched up, but very nice and it's very clean and yeah, should go together pretty well. Next is the decal sheet. And decal sheet looks really good. So you do have number 77 and number 52. You do have two different numbers and stuff. There is some of your little sponsors if you choose to put them on there. 400 cubic inch V8, really cool. Two different styles. You get the big letters, you get the smaller ones for the hood, whatever you want to do. And you got some stripes and stuff, and this one is the art box style with the side striping and your 77. So pretty cool. Also, nice decal sheet. Looks really good actually. Okay, you're getting a little small chrome tree in this kit. You are getting your rear bumper, alternator. I'm not sure what that is. That could be a radiator cap, I'm assuming, shifter, and your valve covers. Okay, so a few parts broke off the trees, so that's why you always open your parts bags over your bench or in the box. This part looks like part of your bumper, I'm assuming, and then there is part of your spindle for your axle and stuff. Steering. Okay, small little tree right here, and this just includes your front half of your chassis. And again, this is a full-on stripped race car, so you have plating, you have rivets in here, which is really cool, nicely detailed. That's really nice. There is the rear half of your chassis. Now, alrighty, this tree has some of your engine parts. There's your oil pan, your intake or your breather hose right there is your starter. Really nice. You do have your, it's supposed to be like a braided line or hose right there for your radiator. And you have your fan stuff. There is your heads, suspension, fire extinguisher. Here's your steering coils. There is your nice little mini seat with seatbelts. Look like, yeah, seatbelts molded in. Very cool. Tiny little seat, that's very cool. And there is your unique part about this kit with the open head exhaust. So basically the heads go over your engine, which is pretty cool, and it goes into the firewall, which is very unique but very cool at the same time. All one piece, and then they just meet up inside the firewall. Pretty cool. Alright, this tree has a lot of your roll cage parts. There is part of your front suspension, looks like. There is your drive shaft, and then another part of your drive shaft, and here is what's like your steering column, I'm assuming. And then again, you have your lots of your roll cage parts. Pretty cool. And there is your upper portion. This is your basically your engine bay right here. So your engine will go in there and basically has all your suspension and stuff connecting to it. So pretty cool. Next tree, here is the other part of your exhaust, and the exhaust goes inside the interior in this car, which is pretty unique. And you can powder coat it, you can paint it white, like it's like SRAM coated or powder coated, you want to call it. So do whatever you want. It looks pretty cool. It's very unique. There is more parts of your chassis right here. There is your spindle. That's where the other one broke off. Your looks like a chassis brace or the drive shaft brace. You get some more coils, suspension arms, steering, pedals. Looks like a rear mirror. Pretty cool. Of course, you got your gas tank right here. Okay, next tree looks like part of your interior roll cage area. There is your ribbon plating. So this is basically be aluminum plating on the interior. This covers the rear axle and stuff. Speaking of rear axle, there is your leaf springs. more roll cage area chassis, and there is your quick change rear end. Next tree has your wheels package. So you got your wheel backs, and then there is your wheels. You got the 5-spoke steelies. Really cool, really nicely detailed, and they're open too, which is pretty cool. Alrighty, next tree has some of your interior parts. There is your steering wheel, you got your radiator, and then more roll cage parts. There is your filter. Here's your firewall, and you see the opening for your head for your exhaust to go in. That's pretty cool, very wild. And then there is your exhaust basically block off for the interior, so there's like a tunnel for your exhaust to go through, so there's not too much heat going into the interior. And looks like that's where your rear view mirror goes. Really cool. And it's all rivets, so you paint this like an aluminum look. This is pretty cool. Okay, next tree has your main part of your roll cage. Here's your passenger side and your driver's side. You do have a window net in there. Pretty cool. You can easily cut that out and make your window net go through the door, rope on the door, whatever. And I noticed this in the camera. You do have welding details. Look at that. That is wicked cool. So you want to spray the chassis with the body off, you can, because you get all your like welding detail in this thing. That's so cool. Just noticed that. Battery, here's your water pump, belts and pulleys. There is your 400 cubic inch V8, your head, or your head, and then more heads right there, intake amount, and then you do have another style of a filter if you want to. That's like a stock filter. Very cool. Another small tree has more of your rivet plating on here, so pretty neat. Then let's take your dashboard. I'm assuming that's your dashboard. Yes, it is your dashboard. You do have 2 gauges on there. Very fine detail. You can easily use decals if you want to, aftermarket, because I don't think there's any in the kit. There is your front bumper. Very nice little front bumper. Pretty cool. Here is your body, or your hood, So pretty cool. A little bit of flashing here and there, but it just breaks off very easily. You get your hood, your holes molded open into your hood scoop for your intake and stuff. So very cool. Hood pins molded in. You can easily cut those out or shave those down and use some folded edge or 3D printed ones you desire. Very cool. You do have some detail under here too. Speaking of body, here is your Pontiac GTO body, all in one piece, which is awesome. Usually some of these Pontiac GTO kits, you have to glue it on the front bumper or the full on front clip and stuff. Back half is a little bit separate, but that's not too big a deal. But the body looks really cool. Of course, this is a race car only. You're not doing a stock Pontiac GTO because you're next to nearly impossible because you have to do a lot of cleanup. But you do have your welding plates on here to keep the door shut. You have your welding bit plate where your door handle used to be, and then again your welding plates for your headlight blockouts, fog light blockouts, so you can paint those body color or you can paint them in aluminum, whatever you want to do. That goes the same for your back end. So this is pretty cool. But yeah, very nice. The mold lines are, wow, it's actually pretty deep. That's actually pretty good for, that's more shell on the doors, but it's not too big a deal. But and there's where your crazy exhaust goes through. So it goes through the body, which is super cool. It's very wild. But yeah, really neat. And you can cut out the trunk in this one to expose the gas tank and your battery back there if you want to. But yeah, this is a really clean mold. And there's a little flash here and there, but not a big deal. It just breaks off. But very cool. There's no grill or insert for your grill. It's all open, but if you want to, you can add some mesh in there if you're doing like a super dirty, muddy track. They have like mesh in there, so you want to have mesh in there, you can. But you can do a lot of cool stuff with this. So really, really nicey body. And then last thing in this kit, for being an oval racer and dirt racer, you do have pad printed Goodyear tires with a really nice tread pattern. You've seen these tires in multiple of A&T kits. They're really nice. I mean, I had no complaints about them. If you don't want the Goodyear, say if you want like Firestone or other tire brand, you can easily sand these off. They're just pad printed, so they don't come off. But if you want to remove them, you can just sand off the Goodyear and put on different decals on there. But yeah, really nicely decals, or you can just flip it over and here's your black side. But really nice tread pattern, very accurate for dirt races back in the day. But overall, after taking a very good look at this kit, guys, this is an awesome kit. AMT, they have a few models out there with this same chassis with the exhaust going into the body and stuff. I hope they do more in the future with the Super Stocker series. It's a really cool idea, and it just looks really cool. If you want to, you can turn this kit into like a pavement racer. So all you have to do is just kind of lower the suspension down just a little bit more and just get some slick tires for it. And if you want to, you can make it into a pavement car. There's not really much you really have to modify about this kit to make it into a pavement racer. Just slick tires and just lower the ride height just a little bit onto the ground. That's pretty much about it, because they race these cars on pavement as well. But again, from the kit, this is a dirt oval track race car. This is a local track race car, so really cool. If you don't want to do with the kit decals, there's aftermarket out there. Slicks decals makes all kinds of numbers and all that good stuff go for racing. So if you want a completely different number, like I said, there's tons of decals out there with different numbers and stuff, but plating. But really cool. You can take your own way with this kit, so really nice. The engine detail is pretty good for what I heard. The chassis detail is really amazing for being an MPC kit. What I heard of, I think this was an old AMT kit, but they just named it under MPC, because usually MPC is more of like a more basic models, from Mount 2 models, but I don't know, this one is very detailed. But other than that, guys, that's it for this video. I really do recommend this kit. I'll provide a link down below to a couple places where you can get it. But other than that, guys, until my next video, we'll catch you next time.